Good, Carter? Stacy?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I got two for key and two for background. There was some stuff here that I used to have. Used to have in the room and they got moved over. We finally got them back. Replanted. I like them a lot better. It just feels like light falls off. The only bad thing is it only covers a certain amount. So I mean, if you've got like watch a bunch of people up there, it falls off of them pretty quick. Yeah. Makes it sound like better.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We are here, unfortunately, to talk about yet another senseless tragedy, a tragedy that has taken the life of a young man way too soon. And unfortunately, we're here to say how much is enough. Is this the incident that causes us to say, hey, this is enough of this? We're gonna do what we can individually, collectively, to say this. It stops right here. Yesterday, a little bit after 12 o'clock, we get a call from EMS that there was a car that had run over the embankment in the area of Fairfield and Hollywood. Inside that vehicle, when we got there, there were two males, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old. The 18-year-old driver of the vehicle was deceased at the scene. That young man's name was Ladarius Clarity. That name should be familiar to some of us that are from this area. He had a bright athletic history, and he had a bright athletic future. But he was killed to the tune of about over 50 rounds fired into his vehicle that he was driving, and he had this 19-year-old passenger in the car with him. Now we have since then we have our entire investigative staff, that is persons crimes, property crimes. We also have our entire gun crimes unit out. They've been out since last night. They've been out all day today, and we're trying to find as many witnesses, as many video surveillance as we possibly can. What we want to do is make sure that we have a complete rundown of what took place last night, because again, this is not just a statistic. This is a son. This is a friend. This is a teammate, and enough is enough. We cannot sit here and just keep saying, "Oh, another senseless act of violence." So we need your help. We want to know what you know. There's enough people around this town that know what happened. They can give us that one piece or those two pieces that'll help us. We do have some leads, but we want more. This case cannot go unsolved. There's a family that's grieving. There's a community that's grieving. There are individuals within this sheriff's office that are grieving. This is one of our children in Escambia County. So what I would ask for you is if you have information to give us a call. or call Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers, we've been able to up the reward in Crime Stoppers to $5,000. Also, there was an individual that first notified EMS. There was a gentleman on a bicycle just after midnight, and he saw the car that went over the embankment, went down there to check it out, saw that individuals had been hurt, went back upstairs, flagged down emergency medical services crew, and they went down there. Unfortunately, this Good Samaritan, this bicyclist, left the scene. And so if you're out there and or you know who this gentleman is, we would like to talk to him one more time to see what he sees, what he knows. He may not even know that he saw something. We also ask if you have a business, you have a home in the area, anywhere near Fairfield or Hollywood, about 12 o'clock to 12:30. The victim's car, Ladarius Clarity's car, is a 2016 Honda 4-door black in color. So if you look at your surveillance video and you see that car or any car chasing it, around it, near it, or if you just see that car alone, please give us a call. Save that video and let us know. We would love to see that video. As I said before, this was an intentional act. Someone fired over 50 rounds into the car, most of them into the car door, the driver's door. And the injuries that Ladarius Clarity suffered ultimately took his life. And the other 19-year-old was transported to the hospital. I do not yet know his condition. Last I heard, he was in surgery. And because we want to make sure that people don't just pass this off as just another statistic, I've asked, and I've been in conversation with Commissioner Lumen May, with Reverend Joseph Marshall, and Councilmember Delarian Wiggins. And I'm first going to turn it over to Commissioner Lumen May.
Thank you, Sheriff. And first, let me just send my condolences and my prayers to all of the families. This is not an event that only adversely affects an individual family, but it affects all of our community. And I do want to thank Sheriff Simmons, Ginger Madden, and also Dina Alsat, our medical director. Even before they got to work this morning, I put in phone calls to the medical director, the state attorney, and the sheriff, and they all responded quickly in saying that we're going to resolve this. And so I'm very grateful to the actions of our sheriff. But let me say, once again, I stand at this podium with another senseless act of violence that has plagued not my district, but our entire community. And today is a sad day for Pensacola. Many people will go to Ladarius Clarity. I know him as LD because he played in a program that I spent my life coaching. A wonderful, honest student, a great athlete, but more importantly, a young man that has lost his life to violence. We ask, please cooperate with law enforcement, cooperate with community. If you have information that you can share, please share it. It's very important for our community to resolve this senseless act of violence.
Mr. Marshall.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. First and foremost, I would like to say that on behalf of the family that they are certainly grieving, but in the midst of their grief, they are extremely appreciative for this wonderful city, and definitely Sheriff Simmons for all that he has done as his entire staff for keeping the family up to date and providing some sense of solace for them. At the present time, they are, as you can probably imagine, going through extreme grief. At the present time, they are seeking information that could further console them. And you, the public, you can do just that. For many of us that have rooted for LD, for many of us who have been at those football games and cheered him on in support of him, well, guess what? You have another opportunity where you can support him by way of letting us know who did this senseless act. LD has a mother who cares for him, a mother who is sitting numb at this present moment. He has a dad who was actively attentive in his life, as with any dad who cares for his children. At this present time, he has a grandmother, grandmothers, he has cousins, he has nieces and those who look up to him, asking why for this wonderful, bright, brilliant young man. And so I ask two things of you. Number one, and that is, first and foremost, to keep the family in your prayers. I can express, even as a pastor, how difficult that this has been to try and console them during this most difficult time. In my 25 years of pastoring, I must say that this is one of the most extreme cases that leaves you utterly speechless. So with that being said, again, for you to pray for the family, both his mother, as well as his dad, and the entire family. This is not someone who is just a loose kid just out there running the streets. His family is very, very active. He attends our church, youth department, singing, participating in our entire youth department. I can't express enough. And so I'll end with my second thing, and that is, as I've stated on the outset, if you want to do something for this family, and as you've supported LD on the football field, support him now in his unfortunate demise by stepping up to the plate and helping Sheriff Simmons to solve this case so that we as a community can get some kind of, again, solace by way of this senseless act. Thank you so much, Commissioner May. Commissioner May and Councilman Delaire.
Again, I would just probably only echo what has already been said about Mr. LD, Mr. Clarity. He was a great young man in this community. He was a part of the Omega Lamplighters program. He has done such a great job out on the field as well as in this community. So if you know anything that has happened, please contact the Crime Stoppers hotline or even call the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. I want to commend the sheriff for doing a great job with putting the resources out on the street to make sure that we're getting this information. And also want to thank the media for y'all being here today to put this information out. So if you have any information out there regarding this crime, please contact the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. Let's put this person where they need to be. Let's work as a community, and let's bring some solace to this family. Again, Pastor, I thank you for coming out. We continue to pray for you. And again, let's do the right thing. Let's turn them in.
I think it's important. I've given you some information that we need from an investigative standpoint, but I think it's important to also understand that this is a young man that had friends. This is a young man that already had an impact in our community, and he was well on his way to having an impact in other communities as well. We want to know what he was doing that night, who he was with. We are looking for a motive. I can't tell you exactly where we are in that the investigation regarding the motive, but I can tell you that we need more information. We will solve this case. We will find the individual, the coward, that drove by and shot into the car over 50 times and killed one of our children and seriously injured another. We will find him, and you can help. I can't imagine someone having information and then laying down tonight knowing you had the key, that you had that piece of information. Perhaps you didn't know LD. Perhaps you have never had a knock on your door saying that your son won't come home. Perhaps you never visited a crime scene. Perhaps you weren't there when the mother is grieving with every breath. If you were, you wouldn't sit on that information. You'd let us know what you know. We have to come together as a community. We say this all the time. Now is the time. Enough is enough. And with that, I'll take any questions that I can answer. Yes, sir.
Do you know where the two victims were coming from at all? Do you have any persons of interest?
We do have information as to where they were. I can tell you that Ladarius had just been in town for a couple of hours. He plays ball at Kennesaw State, and he had just come to town a couple of hours before this, and he was with a friend of his. And I can tell you that we have information, but it's in pieces. And that's why we're asking for any information to maybe put those pieces together, and then perhaps we can develop the motive that will help us to make an arrest and to solve this case. Any other questions?
Can you tell us again the condition of the second victim?
All I know, the last I've heard, that he was in surgery, but I don't have any more information. Obviously, as that victim improves, we will have investigators there to try to talk to him and get the information, the best information that we can get from him. But we know we want to know what the community knows. We know someone has information. We have been working with people at the school. We've been working with people in the neighborhoods. We have been talking amongst ourselves all day long. We all have pieces of information, but that's not enough yet to make an arrest. We will ultimately get enough information, but we want to know what everyone else knows. All right. And with that, I want to say thank you all for being here. As Delarian said, it's important for the media to cover this and not to just blow right by this, because this is one of our children. So thank you all very much. Can you come up?